Melissa.
Hey, Katie.
Welcome to episode 337, Listener Situations.
Yes, back in September of 25, we sent out an email asking for their questions.
Yes.
So we could do a Q&A episode. And amongst those questions were some situations.
A little too long for just a Q and an A.
Yeah, but good for discussion.
Yeah.
So we're revisiting some of these.
Okay, perfect. Great.
Shall we just start?
Just jump in.
I love them podcasts. Just start.
Just go.
Okay. I'm going to read the first situation. And I actually was glad that they emailed about this one because I have been in this situation so many times.
Oh, really?
How do you handle anxious buyers, especially ones that maybe you meet at an open house or through a referral, but they want to see homes very quickly, like maybe even the same day?
Oh, wow.
I can do a quick BBA agreement and talk through things in front of the house, but there's rarely time for a full buyer consultation. Before I know it, we're already in let's go look at houses mode, and it makes me feel like I've missed the opportunity to properly set expectations. I have a buyer right now who found a home on our second showing, and it happened so fast. While that's a good thing, I feel like I haven't had the chance to fully explain the process, and I'm worried I may have done my client a disservice.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes.
All right. My initial reaction to this is, yes, sometimes these things move too fast.
Yeah.
Right. And even though you have the best intentions and you think, I want to do a buyer consult with every single buyer, all of a sudden you're at the open house and then they want to go to see a house when you're done or the next day or whatever. And you're like, well, when you said yes, because they were pre-approved and you met them and you were like, well, I don't want to say no.
Let's get started.
Let's go. I almost always would present my buyer folder in the first showing. So if you do it that way, you're getting a little buyer consult before while you're in that showing.
Yeah.
I would let them look at the house, and then typically it's easiest if you're about to go to another one because you're like, before we move on to the next house, let me just go over what I brought with me, and then I just do my buyer consult. It's a little less intimidating also for the buyer because you didn't set up a buyer consult. Do you know what I mean? You just did the buyer consult. Like, we don't have to give it a name and schedule it. Ideally, yes, they come to your office, you sit down, you do the whole thing. But in the real world, that's just not how it always happens.
No.
So I would maybe just take that approach, even if it's like you're out and about or something, like you're in an open house and they want to go right after. Maybe you need to keep your buyer materials in the car, like a copy, so that you're prepared. Obviously, you're going to need a BBA, right?
Yeah.
So why not have your whole folder, your whole presentation just available to be like, hey, that's great. I'm so glad we're here at this first house that we looked at. I just want to walk through some of the stuff that you're going to need to know as we proceed.
I like to say that's an amazing answer, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I also like to tell them, sometimes when we're walking through a house and they're like, ooh, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, that's definitely something that we would look at during the inspection.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, making an offer is scary, but, that just reserves the house while we have our due diligence. And so I'm sort of reiterating the steps of the process and educating them while we are walking through the houses.
Okay.
And there's also a term I say a lot when I'm like, don't worry, you don't have to remember all of this. I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know how it's going to go.
Okay, fine.
So it's you have to be flexible in this business. It reminds me of that boundaries reel we made when it's like, oh no, I cannot work on Saturdays ever, so I will not work with you. And the next thing you know, you have no clients.
Yeah.
It's like if you will only
do in-office buyer consults.
Yeah, you have to be flexible in this industry.
Because they'll go find another agent who will, on a whim, do what they want them to do.
Yeah.
We're not saying you bow to the whims of every buyer, but be more flexible with where and how you give your presentation. She was too deep, right?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, we saw the second house, and that's the one they wanted. Well, I don't think I would have gotten to the second house without having some sort of discussion in the first house.
Right. Take a minute, take a breather, even if you're in a house. That's a great answer.
Okay, good. Should we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. If you're a newer agent and you feel overwhelmed or unsure what you should be doing next, you're not alone. Agent Systems 101 is my step-by-step course that helps agents build a consistent, professional, and profitable business without adding more to their plate. If you're tired of guessing or feel like you're behind, this course gives you the exact systems, templates, and workflows you need to confidently run your business from first client contact to post-closing follow-up. You'll walk away with a clear plan, done-for-you tools, and the confidence to show up like the expert you're becoming. I'm live teaching the class starting January 21st at 10 a.m. Central and would love to see you there. Sign up at hustlehumblypodcast.com/courses. Next one is, I have an opportunity to work with my company's builder services division. This could include being an on-site agent for a model home in a new neighborhood. I am still so new that I'm not sure what the pros and cons are of working in new construction versus working resale, sphere of influence type business. I think it's a great learning opportunity, but I also need to make money. I'm interested to hear what your experiences have been or thoughts on the different types of business.
So one of my really close friends sort of built her business doing these things.
Okay.
Because her husband's job moved a good bit.
Okay.
So when she was with us, she found a builder and was in their model home and sort of worked like a 9 to 5.
Like office hours gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, it wasn't Monday through Friday every day because she did have to work some weekends, required by the builder to be in the model home on the weekends. And then when they got transferred to another state where she knows no one, she did the same thing. She found a builder, she ran that model home. And I think for her, it was so good because it allowed her to have income.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Do you have was it a salaried position?
It was sort of like a small salary plus bonuses.
Okay, based on the sales production.
Yeah, and I know she did this in at least 3 different states.
Okay.
And they were all similar in that way.
Yeah.
But not the same.
Okay.
So every builder is going to have their own structure.
Right.
I remember this has been, years ago. So I don't know but I remember my friend worked for a big builder.
Okay.
And said that he made like a small salary, like something like $35.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got $1,000 for every closed house, which that adds up.
Yeah.
And gives him some incentive. I think it's good, especially if you are trying to meet people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the agents who used to work for certain builders, once that subdivision is completed, they just sort of kept marketing to that neighborhood.
Of course.
And then once, a few years later or a year later or 2 years later, as people started moving out, you were their point of contact.
You pretty much become like the agent of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I think if you're new and trying to learn everything and build a database, I think it could be a great opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. I agree. Am I going again?
Go ahead and do the next one.
Okay. I am very honored that my neighbors selected me to sell their home.
Woo.
We are in a rural area and they have a lovely 3-acre property. I know that technically I do not have to disclose that I own all of the adjoining properties to the listing, but I feel like I should. The properties on either side are slightly larger and are rentals. The property behind them is our farm. Thoughts?
So she's listing a piece of property.
Right. She is the owner of everything around. I mean, I don't think this is necessary.
Yeah.
If you're listing it, you might not be having direct contact with the buyer at all.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
So when would even, you'd have to put in the MLS, tell the agent that showed it?
And I think that makes it sound like you're pointing out a problem.
Yeah.
I find that if it was me at the closing table, once everything is signed and the attorney goes to make copies, I'd be like, hey, I'm actually your neighbor now.
Yeah. I think I will. Right. Because worst case scenario is, first of all, you're not the seller. So you'd have to ask the seller what they wanted.
Right. It's not really your choice.
Because the worst case scenario is someone finds out that it's rentals on either side and doesn't want to buy.
Yeah.
So it could be a detriment to the listing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're behind it, I'm sure you're lovely and maybe your tenants are lovely, but maybe a buyer doesn't know that.
Sure.
And it's a little bit more, it could change. Tenants change often.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, of course, your neighbors can change too, but I don't know. I think I wouldn't.
Yeah. I don't think if it's not required And it's nothing shady.
No.
And, you can just introduce yourself as the neighbor at the closing table.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think there's always, you have to be careful to give too much information in any case.
Yeah.
Right? Just the facts.
Yeah.
We don't need to go beyond that. Okay, you're next.
I have a client looking at new construction, and the builder is offering various incentives to use the builder's lender and title company. My concern is that I have already gotten this client pre-approved with my favorite lender, and I worry that the lender and the title company will be more loyal to the builder and not my client.
Okay, I have thoughts about this.
Oh, yes.
Number one, if you're worried that the builder will be more loyal to the title or lender,
or if the lender is more looking out for the builder.
It's like fraud level. Like this would be an inappropriate relationship.
What?
If the lender is doing something that only benefits the seller, I just like the builder.
Yeah.
I don't know how it benefits. To me, if you're getting a fee sheet to both and you compare, the lender's the lender.
Right.
The title company, I'm trying to think of how they can
benefit.
How could the seller benefit?
Yeah.
Over the buyer? They're literally just passing the making the transaction happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, I can see where it would feel like maybe you're worried.
Sure.
Well, everyone's connected and we're on the outside and they're going to take care of each other. And but I would get a fee sheet as long as
just get a fee sheet. The other issue I have here is that she said, my favorite lender.
Yeah.
That is something you have to be very careful about.
Yeah.
I also have lenders that I love. I have also had them switch over to a different lender during new construction.
Yeah, from my favorite lender.
Yeah, from my favorite lender to someone else. Yeah. But it is not about who's your favorite.
No.
This is not about who your relationship is with.
Yeah.
This is about the buyer.
What's best for them.
And what is best for them, and not about your favorite lender or yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite lender, when I had to go tell her, hey, they're buying a new construction because we're switching to this lender, there's a $4,000 credit, and I know that just can't be competed with. My favorite lender says, absolutely, you go and you get the best deal you can get for your client.
Yeah.
And that's why she's my favorite lender.
Right. If they're going to break up with you or be mad at you because this happened, then they're not a great fit to start with.
This is also a good reminder that you could be in violation of some ethical things if you are not giving options for home inspectors, lenders. Like, are you giving your clients options, or are you choosing based on relationships?
Yeah.
Because then you yourself may not have your client's best interest at heart.
What is your motivation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to share this part here? Is this related?
Yeah. I had a situation where I had a listing and the buyer who bought it was actually an agent in our market. And this agent works for a company that has a relationship with a title company.
Okay.
Long story short, my people were buying a house contingent on the sale of this listing. So I wanted their house on Main Street that this agent was buying to close at the same title company as the house they were buying. So we could do back-to-back closings.
Sure.
We don't have to move the funds. And the agent was like, absolutely not. I am closing at my preferred title company. And I was like, is it a money thing? Because it's going to be way more difficult on closing day for us to get money from title company number one, get it to title company number two. We have to have a letter verifying the funds because of the short turnaround time. We have to drive across town to get to your title company. I said, how about you send me your title fees sheet and I will send it to title company number one and make sure that they match it so it's no cost of you to keep it all in one place. No, my loyalty is to this title company. And I'm just like, this has gotten out of control.
I have a question.
Okay.
A follow-up question. Was that agent, do you know, getting any type of online lead?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the deal was.
There just has to be a reason.
Yeah.
Why I just absolutely cannot.
She is also on a team. And I do know that some title companies will
Pay for team.
pay for certain things.
Advertising, pay for leads.
But like, this isn't what's best. It was just a frustrating situation.
Yeah.
And there are many times where I see in realtor remarks, like, seller will only pay closing costs if at this title company or this or that. The seller doesn't know who the title companies are. Like,
right. Unless they are one.
As agents, we need to check ourselves and realize that this is not about who our best friend is.
Right. While it's nice to pick your vendors, it is not a requirement to do a good job.
Correct. It is our job to help guide and direct the client, tell them to get a fees worksheet, and then make their own choices.
Yeah. I have one last thing to say about this person who was concerned. They're like worried. If it's a big builder, it's very easy to go Google a review of the lender specifically, of the title company specifically. If people really were having issues, someone has put in a review.
Yeah. And also, it probably is going to be the best deal for your client. Yeah. It's like shopping at Costco. Because this builder closes so many deals at that title company or lender, the fees and costs associated with it could be significantly less.
Yeah. Our local builders, big builders, have their own lender and title companies.
Yes.
They're all under the same umbrella.
And if I was a builder and I was closing, 20 to 50 houses a year, I would certainly want to keep as much of it at the same title and lending company for organizational purposes. But I wouldn't be afraid about it unless they had a bad reputation.
No.
So in conclusion, using quote unquote your people is a luxury, not a requirement.
Correct.
And we need to do what's best for the client.
Love it. Okay, read us the next story.
Okay.
It's a little long.
Yeah, I got it. My first listing finally went pending a few days ago after 200 days on the market.
Woo!
From the start, I smelled smoke. Earnest money wasn't turned in on time. The buyer's agent wasn't keeping up with dates and disclosures and deadlines. 2 weeks in, the buyer's agent asked to push back the appraisal, even though I had confirmation it had already been scheduled. She claimed that it wasn't scheduled and also wanted to move the insurance deadline, saying the quote depended on the appraisal. When I questioned the need to move dates and explained that insurance isn't tied to appraisal, she said to just cancel, because she would, quote unquote, not be putting her client through this.
Cancel the transaction?
Yes. The lender, her husband, was unresponsive throughout, and ultimately the contract was canceled because the buyer could not get financing.
Okay.
My sellers were very understanding, but frustrated by the lack of professionalism and threats of cancellation simply for asking questions. How would you handle this? Would you leave a bad review? Or would you just forgive and move on? My sellers even looked at the agent's reviews and were shocked how positive they were.
All right. One, no, I'm not leaving a review.
No.
On another agent?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Now, if this agent shows up again in one of my listings with an offer, am I going to treat it differently? Probably.
Yeah.
Do a little bit more vetting, be a little bit more, thorough. But you leaving this agent a bad review does nothing. Your seller is not under your control. If your seller feels like that's what they need to do to feel better about it, I guess they could.
If I was an agent and my husband was the lender and he let me show houses to someone that actually wasn't approved, I would be so mad at my husband. I'd be like, I get my clients with a lender to get pre-approved, so I'm not wasting time away from our family.
Yeah.
And you got me this far, and this buyer can't even buy a house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't work with that lender anymore.
You're like, this is grounds for divorce.
I certainly wouldn't work with that lender anymore.
Yeah.
Like, anytime you go under contract and it falls through because of financing, someone did not do their homework.
Yeah, beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your best practices for building a referral network of agents, an agent referral network?
Okay, so this is sort of becoming a little bit popular on social media, like people being like, let me
get in our group.
Get it. Yeah. I think it's because...
What are you seeing on social media?
On social media, it's more like the agent is like, I don't want to actually work as many local buyers.
I see.
So maybe I'll just find like referral type situations.
Okay.
But I don't think that is useful for building your income?
Okay, I will say, we got this question multiple times.
Yes.
And we hear it a lot. Like, I'm trying to build my agent, the arm of my business that's agent referrals.
Yeah.
And I have heard people successfully do this in ways like this. You would go and teach classes to other local offices that were yours to meet other agents who then would have clients maybe coming here.
Yes, I have done that.
And then you would get referrals from those agents.
Like Alyssa, me,
Yes.
in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I would go to New Orleans back in the day and teach classes there, meet agents.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people move from New Orleans to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
When they had someone that they thought that was moving to Baton Rouge, they would call me because they knew me because I taught a class.
Correct. That makes sense to me. I have heard of agents who do their continuing education in another state even. Like maybe they go to a class or do like a CRS or an ABR designation, like for where in Baton Rouge. They would go to Houston. A lot of people move from Houston and meet agents in Houston. And then there would be a potential for some referrals that way. These things make sense to me. You trying to build a list of an agent in every state, every market, every whatever. And you'll see it a lot when they're like, go to the conferences, you'll build a referral network. I'm not saying it doesn't work where you might meet an agent that later sends you a referral.
Yeah.
But where we live, I don't think I'm having a big influx of buyers that are coming from Seattle, Washington.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not like I know the 4 or 5 places that might be moving in or out of here.
It's a lot of time and money spent on travel and quote unquote networking when the odds of you and that one person you met having the perfect match of a buyer seller moving from city to city
slim.
Is so small.
Yeah. Now, do I think that if you go, like when I got my CRS designation, one of the big things is they're like, now you are in a group of agents where you can go through the directory. Obviously, they have them in every market. And you know that they're highly educated because of the parameters to become a CRS.
Yeah.
I've heard of people like, oh, well, I'm at a RE/MAX and I want to get another referral agent also at RE/MAX because I know they're a similar type of agent.
Mm-hmm.
That all makes sense to me.
Sure.
But you just randomly being like, I'm trying to build the referral arm of my business.
Just focus on your client.
Would be so market specific.
Yeah.
Are a lot of people moving into or out of your market?
Mm-hmm.
If they're not and going to the same place, how does this even work?
Yeah, it's like a gamble that you're putting all these eggs in this basket and the likelihood of the perfect match popping out.
It's just hard.
Whereas if anything, maybe you add in your email signature or make part of your communication with your database, just a reminder, no matter where you're moving, I can help you find an agent where you're going.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
Right.
I have clients all the time who are like I had a client recently that was moving to Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, do you know anyone in Phoenix? I said, I don't specifically, but I can certainly help find someone and filter them for you. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what to look for. So it's more communicating to your clients, hey, if you're moving out of state, let me help you find an agent there. But you don't need to be wasting a lot of, I think it's the wrong place to focus your time and money on.
Agree. Now, there was an agent I liked who I think actually was at RE/MAX when I was there. She is in the Gulf Coast area in a second home market, like on the beach, right? And a lot of people from our area were buying in her market. Like she saw that and so then she was sending like letters or postcards or whatever to RE/MAX agents in our market because they might know people who are actually buying in her market.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
It
makes sense. I didn't catch what this.
Oh, my top of the ladder.
Oh.
So in our company, which was in 3 different states back in the day, Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, they did a lot of events for like the top 50.
Okay.
And so I was constantly getting updated brochures with the top 50. And I just wrote a bunch of letters to those agents being like, I'm in Baton Rouge. So if any of your people are ever moving there, I'd be happy to help them. Yeah. And I got a lot of referrals that way. But I had
you again had a common denominator. You were at the same office in the same small group of people at the top 50.
Right. So at the end of the day, we need to find clients, not agents.
Right.
It sort of reminds me when I was new and I kept getting recruited by this brokerage that did like the pyramid thing where if you recruit someone, that agent gets a portion of your income.
Yeah.
And the agents at that brokerage were so focused on recruiting other agents for their income. And I thought to myself, if you put this much effort into
Finding a buyer and a seller?
finding a buyer and a seller and going and being social with real life people, you would probably not even need my income for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So anywho.
Okay, I think we hit all of our points on that.
Mm-hmm.
It does distract agents from their actual business.
Correct.
Working on this.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't give or receive referrals. You just don't need to be focused on it.
Sure.
Okay. Do you ever feel like other agents, lenders, or attorneys send you the difficult, that's air quoted, difficult clients on purpose?
I have a thought on this.
Okay, let me hear it.
As a younger person, when I was in top of the ladder, so top of the ladder is what they called our top agents in my company back in the day.
Great.
I was the youngest person in top of the ladder by about 35 years.
Okay.
Everybody else was significantly older than me, and they all had relationships with each other, and they all sold all these luxury homes.
Okay.
And I was there because I sold 100.
So many homes.
Yeah. I sold 100 houses for a fraction of the cost to get the same production as them.
Yeah.
So they would send me like, I started writing letters, okay? And it was interesting because I thought to myself at first, this is a waste of time because so-and-so is friends with so-and-so who's in my market.
They're not going to send
They're going to send everything to this Baton Rouge agent who's been their best friend forever. False.
They were like, oh, this is...
They were like, hey, my friend's son is going to LSU and they want to buy a condo and their budget's $100,000. Can you help?
Yeah.
And I started getting, and these are my like earlier years, I started getting so many of these little tiny deals that they would never send to
the top producing $1 million luxury agent.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind at all.
You're like, great.
I was like, sweet, I can do this. I learned that way.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward many years to now 2025. And one of the like super top performing agents in our New Orleans market sells like the most homes in the whole company, called me and was like, Alyssa, I would like to send you a seller referral. And I'm going, wow, what an honor this is. I mean, she's not calling, this is a listing and I'm not like little baby Alyssa anymore.
Okay.
Well, I look it up and it's expired. This listing has expired twice and I'm realizing there must be a story there. And there was, and it was a very difficult seller. And she was friends with the seller's brother. The brother was trying to help his siblings sell this house. There was all the things you can imagine. Family drama, money issues, house issues. It took me a good 3 or 4 months just to fight with this seller to get them to do what they were going to do. And you know, it ended up being like a $210,000 house. But here's all of these stories to say that brother, I did sell the house. And this family comes from like a lot of money. They own a lot of real estate in other markets. He has already like sang my praises, left me the best reviews. Like, if it is something that you are unable to take because of where it is, it's too far, it wouldn't be a good business decision for you to be driving that far, commuting that far.
Yeah.
Or you are so slammed, you don't have time to take on a certain type of client. That's one thing. But when you're looking for business,
right. Business is business.
Business is business. And every single one of those quote unquote difficult transactions that was referred to me, I took and I handled so well that I started earning real referrals. Right. Like this seller is delightful and wants you to come tell them what to do. She's going to do all her homework. She wants to list around $900,000. Like, if you can handle the difficult, you can earn the better.
Oh, I love that.
Hey, Hustle Humbly community, we've got an update we're really excited about.
Our monthly lives are officially getting a new name. Say hello to the Hustle Humbly Hangout.
And here's what that means. We're stepping away from teaching style classes during our monthly lives because honestly, you already get weekly teachings from us on the podcast.
The Hustle Humbly Hangout is different. This is your time. It's a space to listen in, share what you're working through, and talk about what's feeling tricky in your business right now.
We're brainstorming, problem solving, and working together to come up with ideas and solutions that actually help your business.
So once a month, come hang out with us. Tell us what you've got going on and let's figure it out together.
We can't wait to get to know you the way you already know us.
Not in community? Come join us at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership. Okay, give us our next one.
Okay.
Do you want me to do one? Do you need a breath?
I'm okay.
Okay.
How do you weed through referral, air quote, deals? This is an actual text I just received. Hey, Dawn, this is Sarah. I connect agents with pre-vetted seller leads at $65. No contracts, no upfront fees, blah, 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 blah. I also think an episode on fake reviews and manufactured hype around some of these companies could be worth exploring. I never know what's real, what's not real. I was even removed from a real estate mastermind group after pointing out that some of these things weren't making sense. It just makes me wonder how I know what lead sources are actually. I mean, me and you, we both get texts and calls all the time.
All agents are getting those texts.
Yes.
Would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? My phone then prompts me, is this spam? And I say, yes.
Yes, me too.
Yes, this is spam.
Yes.
I don't want this. Now, I have also heard that there is a local agent in our market that takes every single one and says, yes, I will do that.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I wonder how that goes.
I think it's probably a little bit of work to set up. Maybe, you spin your wheels a lot. Maybe, if that's your business plan and you want online leads or leads that were vetted by some third-party company that want to take a piece of your pie, that's on you. Would you be better served to take the $65 and take out to lunch one of your best referrers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
100% yes. So
I think with the plethora of options available out there, responding to one of these text messages or phone calls would just not be the one I chose.
I don't want to work with people I don't know or can't vet. So no matter what, even if they were giving you real leads, they're strangers.
Right.
These are strangers. So you want to go out and work with strangers? I don't really want to. Now, the part on if these companies had fake reviews, that's like a different situation.
Yeah, I'm not even getting deep enough into it to care about that.
Right. I'm not looking for a review. I'm hitting report spam from the jump. Like, I don't want to hear from you again. No, thank you. That's not my marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then being kicked out of the Facebook group, I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Like, were they affiliated with this plan somehow?
Probably so.
Or using them?
And if you got kicked out, you dodged a bullet. Just be
glad. You don't want to be.
You're gone. Get away from that icky stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that group.
That's all icky stuff.
Okay, next one. I'm about 4.5 years into the business, and I've always heard that if you truly work your systems, you start to see the return around this point. And I am, which is great. I know. But it also means I have less time for traditional, in quotes, lead generation. In the general sense, I work exclusively by referral and follow the Feeney and Hustle Humbly systems, and I still find myself struggling with guilt for not doing as much lead gen or touching base as I used to. I guess I'm mostly just looking for a little validation here.
Good news. I have been here. I have felt this way. And that is the beauty of consistency and staying in the business long enough to reap the benefits that you don't actually have to do the hustle and grind like you did that it took to get going.
It should get easier.
It should get easier. You should have to do this less because your phone just rings.
Right.
It just rings because somebody thought of you to sell a house or somebody gave your name to someone else.
Yeah.
It's like the momentum diagram where it's like it takes a minute to push
get the
ball.
rock moving.
But then once the rock is rolling, it's very hard to stop.
Hard to stop.
And that's why people never retire.
That's why I've always said, like, once you get on the train and the train is moving, it's very difficult to get off the train.
So take this moment to celebrate.
No guilt needed.
I also like that she said she's 4.5 years in because that's about when it happens.
Yeah. I had an agent tell me at 5 years is when you would start to see the referrals, and it's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Now, I think next week we'll do stats. You might learn it'll be a little less. People are staying in their home a little longer.
Yeah.
So maybe it's taking a bit longer for that.
For the repeat business.
But I think if you're getting enough business that you don't have time to look for business, what's the problem?
Yeah, no problem.
There's no problem here.
I think as long as you're doing like a once or twice a year check-in with everybody in
no
your
one
database.
forgets you.
Yeah, you don't want them to forget you.
But that doesn't require a lot of time.
No, it doesn't at all.
It doesn't. So good news.
Yeah, congratulations for making it here.
Right, coast on through.
You keep doing a good job and those referrals will keep coming.
I love it. What's next?
Have you ever considered having an episode about agents that retire and what they can do with their book of business? I have been working with the same agent for over 7 years. I started by doing her monthly mailers and small tasks when I first got my license. After a few months, she went on vacation for several weeks and I ran her business. As I started to get busy, she was my mentor. I still do things for her. I can do all of this because of the systems that I have in place. Your Hustle Humbly systems, actually.
Okay, great.
Her husband was recently diagnosed with an illness and she's thinking about retiring to spend more time and traveling with him. She's mentioned selling her book of business but has no idea how much to sell it for. Should it be sold for a lump sum, a payment over a few years, or should it just be a percentage of each sale that comes from her client list? I would love your take on this subject.
I have heard, I don't know if I listened to podcasts or heard agents or teach about this in the past where they're like, maybe it's Buffini, honestly, who's talking about like the only thing as a realtor or real estate agent that you have to sell. It's not like you run a deli or a dry cleaner that you sell the business, right?
Yeah.
People keep showing up to get their clothes dry cleaned because they don't know who owns it, right?
Sure.
Like you go to the gas station, I don't know who owns it. But as a realtor, you're working by referral. It's a service-based business. You are the thing, right? So he's like, the only thing you really have to sell is your database. Like you could sell your book of business, like this person is saying. So I get it in that sense of the word, but you almost never hear of agents actually doing this, probably because they stay on the train too long. And instead of cutting it off when I'm at the prime and selling the whole business, the database, they sort of trickle it down to nothing, right? Like they just start referring it out or like start telling people they're not really doing it and just sort of like goes away. But this person is still very busy.
Yeah.
So they have an active database, book of business, right? Could you sell it? Maybe to a team or a team leader that wants instead of buying leads, why don't you buy someone's actual database? I don't know what that price would be. And honestly, it feels like for you to sell from one individual realtor to another, it's probably not something anyone could afford. That would be a good price for you as the owner of the book of business.
Yeah.
So then I would say it'd have to be in multiple payments. Like
it's sort of like too, when like a brokerage buys another brokerage, those people could just jump ship if you wanted. And then everything you just paid for is sort of gone. Yeah,
it feels like a very risky investment as the person buying it.
The only experience I have had with this is with my dear, sweet, fancy Nancy. And when I started in 2011, Nancy came to all of the classes I taught in our office about writing purchase agreements on your iPad. And she and I just became friends and she sort of mentored me. And then she had COPD really bad. And so she got to where showing properties was too hard, but her clients wanted her.
They loved her.
And they were like, well, it's okay. They didn't know me. So they'd be like, it's okay if you want to refer us to Alyssa, but can you still come look at the house? Like, I don't know what she did.
They just wanted to see her.
They had been repeat clients of hers for decades. And so I got to where I would basically drive her around and I would go in the house or go up the stairs and with her clients. And so it got to where we sort of had a referral relationship where I did all the work. I gave her 30%, 25%, depending on the situation. And then it was kind of, we did that for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And then she passed away and I went to her funeral and I knew
so many people.
I
bet.
And then the people I didn't know, there was a few where I would be like, oh, I worked with Nancy. And they're like, you're Alyssa.
Yeah, like they knew.
And it just, so to this day, she's been gone for many years. And to this day, I still get people that were like, Nancy's daughter told me to call you. So-and-so told me to call you. So if you have an opportunity, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know
Yeah.
how you put a price
Like a
on that.
structured referral is probably better. Where can that person keep their license and they don't represent any of them and you just give referral fee for.
I also think the book of business is only truly helpful if, say, like Nancy was sending out something to her book of business to say, hey guys, I'm retiring. Alyssa has been working with me and helping me for a few years. She's taking over. Please call her for all your real estate needs.
Well, it's kind of like when we had Kim on the show. She was taking over that team, which had her team lead's name on it and all of her built up business. And then she was taking over that team and rebranding it to herself, but still working that same business, right?
Yeah.
Like the team lead wasn't leaving with their book of business. So I do think it happens.
I think if you're going to get somebody else's database that is exiting the real estate
they
business,
have to transition you.
They have to, for it to be successful, they have to help you transition and it can't be this one-time mailer of you introducing yourself.
It almost is better like the way you were with Nancy or the way Kim was with her team leader. You were already working in that person's business with them.
Yeah.
In tandem. So they were seeing you and them for a while.
And I think you would need to introduce yourself multiple times.
Yeah.
Handwrite a lot of letters. See if you can find some of these people on social media and DM them and just be like, I just wanted to introduce myself. I saw you were in Nancy's book of business.
Yeah, I agree. I think it can be done.
Yeah.
But thoughtfully.
Yeah, and every way would have to be different.
For every situation. Agree. Okay, what keeps you from getting your broker license? You both seem to be so informed and work independently. What is holding you back? Can you work with your current brokerage if you are a licensed real estate broker?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I could have my broker's license, but not having my broker's license isn't holding me back in any way.
Right.
In fact, I think if I was going to get my broker license, I would maybe have to take a little step back from my business.
Yes.
To get my license and deal with all that. But also, if I became a broker and started Alyssa Jenkins Realty, I would now have to like recruit and manage other agents, which again is taking me out of my...
It's a different business.
It's a totally different business.
If you were burned out on working with clients and you just wanted to stay in real estate in a different capacity, that is what that is.
Yeah, it's not... I think that some people, and I thought this when I was new.
Yeah.
I thought the natural progression was like
the only road to success is
to be a broker.
You start on a team. You get good enough to get off the team. You're an individual agent. You get good enough to be a broker and open your own office. Maybe you get so big, you have so many agents, you take it into a franchise level.
Ugh, that makes my stomach hurt. I don't want to do any of that.
Right. It felt like if you were trained in the corporate ladder type of thought process, that's what it kind of equates to me. Like, well, the step up, where am I going? What's the next thing? But why go somewhere else if what you're currently doing is perfect for you?
When I was newer, this was maybe year 5.
Okay.
Our office was opening an office in another we call them parishes, but county.
I'm aware.
Other people call them counties. Okay.
Correct.
So, and it was in the parish that I live in. And then we were opening another office, and it was going to be awesome because with our office, you can go to any of them.
Yeah.
And you don't, it's not like a formal, like, oh, now you only go to this one.
Yeah.
They were looking for someone to manage that office. So I thought, and I saw who they were. They picked 3 agents in our office to interview for that position.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this part of me that felt rejected, that I wasn't even asked
why didn't you want me to manage
for that position. Mm-hmm. And finally, it came up in conversation with my broker, and she was like, Alyssa, I would never pull you to go manage that office. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, I could not pay you enough because you make so much more money selling real estate. Mm-hmm. And you are one of my top producing agents, so I'm not going to pull you.
Yeah, I need you to sell all the houses.
I need you to sell the houses because you're making money for the company.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put you in a manager position.
Right, then they're paying you instead of you paying them.
Yes, yes. So, and then I had this light bulb moment of like,
oh,
that's how real estate works. Like,
yeah,
if you sell, You could make more money
Right.
than any of these positions.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I don't want to manage other agents.
I don't want to. That's why I don't have a team.
Right.
Same
Same
thing.
reason. Same reason.
thing. Like, that's just not what we want to do. So it really just depends on what is your goal and why. And more importantly,
Yeah.
yes, if you are a broker in some capacity, it's more of an 8 to 5. But then you have to think of all the after hours
I don't want to be
questions.
Yeah.
And you have to think, no one's calling their broker when things are going well.
Correct. Yeah.
So do I want to be in that elevated state of like stress where it's always something's wrong? We're always putting out a fire. That's the only way it is. I just,
Well, in episode 197, that is our solo journey episode where you and I sort of deep dive into
what we've done.
We have had assistants. We've, it's just sort of gives some more insight there.
Yeah, we get this question frequently.
Yeah.
I've got it before we had the podcast, and I was just teaching a little class here or there at my office. Well, why don't you're so great. You are so knowledgeable. Why don't you
be a broker?
Be a broker. And I'm like, no, we just found a different way to impart wisdom.
Yes. Through
the
podcast.
Okay. All right. What are some other services that busy realtors use in lieu of unlicensed assistants? What are some other services
that realtors use?
Like, well, I mean, just your actual systems, right? Like, do you have set up systems? Maybe you're already got all of your buyer presentations set up, all of your listing ones, like you've got folders, or you like
transaction checklist. Yeah, that every single transaction.
Right.
I follow this checklist.
Maybe you have all of your closing gifts are the same, and you got a closet full of them, and so you just made it easier. Or maybe you actually pay for a service to send out your closing gifts. Maybe, there's a lot of different service. Look, if you want to be sold something, realtors are sold stuff all the time. You could get a TC or some type of, I don't really know. Like, I don't have any automation secret.
I always just utilized agents in my office when I needed help.
Yeah.
Like the new agents. I'm like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? It'll be a good experience for you. When I was on maternity leave, I had agents in my office that I sent clients to, and we worked out referral agreements. Like, there's just so many different things that you could use.
Yeah.
But if you have too many things, you're not going to use anything.
I know. Services you would use in lieu of an unlicensed assistant.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a secret.
No, I think you just have to have your systems in place.
All right. Last one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I've been on a small team since I was licensed in 2021, which was great as a buyer's agent, steady leads, flexibility, and a lot of learning. Recently, I've shifted from mostly buyers to working more listings. The team lead and I co-list. She brings the leads, which means a lower split for me. I'm grateful for the listing experience, especially in this area where my average sale is around 1.6 million.
Whoa.
But I'm burning out with the volume and honestly miss working with buyers. I'm torn between staying the course and asking to work with buyers only, which I could manage on my own, or leaving the team to do fewer transactions without a split. The market is slowing and I'm scared of not having enough business. For context, I have 3 young kids and I'm the primary parent. I would love any perspective. What are your thoughts?
I can't imagine only working buyers or only working sellers.
Well, let's just talk at it from a scheduling perspective. If you've got 3 young kids and you're the primary parent, buyers taking you out of your home far more often.
You definitely don't want to be primarily buyers.
No. But did they say how long? Licensed in 2021. Look, at that point in my career, when I was 4 years in, I also would have been like, I'd rather do buyers. Buyers are easier.
Yeah.
I understand that sellers are harder, but if you can figure it out and you can take kind of the stress of being a listing agent, it is a better financial, I think, situation. It is definitely a better time situation. You're going to be able to work more in your office than you are like out on the roads after 5 on the weekend. I would work on finding ways to become more comfortable with the listings as opposed to trying to transition back to buyers.
Yeah, I was looking at my numbers for this last year and I only worked 11 buyers.
Oh, wow.
And it's the lowest number I've ever had.
How did that impact your day-to-day life, your schedule?
I felt like this year my volume was fairly much the same and I had a lot of listings, but yeah, I feel like I had a lot more time. But when I got a buyer, I was like excited.
It's fun.
So I think maybe you could just work with one buyer at a time.
Yeah, or cap off the number of listings you're taking.
Yeah.
If it's feeling like that's just too stressful. Now, as far as the split and being on the team, I mean, if you're getting these buyers and or sellers of your own, like they're your leads,
then yeah, you could work less and make more money.
Exactly. So maybe it is time to decide if you go solo and then you don't have to work as many and spend as much time, but you get to make more money.
Yeah.
That was
I think that this was written in a very wise way.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell she's thinking about her best options and not just like a scarcity mindset of like, I have to have the team. Like,
right.
You have different options. Maybe it's okay to do less and make more, and maybe you could just do your own thing, or maybe you could sit tight with your listings and bring on a buyer one at a time.
And you have to think too, there are seasons where listings are hard and seasons where they're easier. So we're just in a season where they're harder.
Yeah.
But maybe it's worth sticking it out until the season when they're easier.
Yeah. You have options.
So many options. And you can change. You can go back and forth.
Well, these were great scenarios.
I thought they were all very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any parting words?
Every situation's different.
Every situation is different. We are actually, the airing of this is on the 19th. So we just had our community live, which are now, tell them what they're called.
The Hustle Humbly Hangout.
So we're doing a little something different, and we're going to be doing more of these types of tell us your situation. We'll talk it through, not just with us, but with other members of the community.
Once a month.
Yeah. So that'll be our lives every month. Will be more question and situationally based.
Yes.
And so like if you were listening along right now and being like, I know what I would do, or I have a thought about this, or I have a follow-up question to this, you need to be in community.
Yeah, because come join. We do this once a month all together.
This is what we'll do together, which is fun. I love hearing people's questions and trying to talk them through the solutions.
That's why our Monday morning meeting at our office is so helpful for me, because I hear things that I haven't been through.
Yeah.
And it makes me think on my toes, like, oh gosh, what would I do?
Yeah.
How do you handle this situation?
And that really does help. Exactly. Prepares you for later, and it makes you more confident in your own business. Okay, so let's listen to a toast.
Okay, great.
Okay, bye.
Wait, before you go, if you enjoyed this episode and if we brought you value, take a minute to rate the show, leave a review, or drop a comment.
We are giving away our best stuff for free. Find it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/freebies.
We'd also love to see you in Hustle Humbly community. Join us there at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
We love chatting with you in our DMs. Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast and say hello.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly Podcast. See you next week.